What is your church's attitude toward homosexuality?
Every form of homosexuality is sin, said the living prophet Spencer W. Kimball.
Such stimulation can lead to acts of homosexuality, and they are evil and absolutely wrong.
We must understand that any persuasion to enter into any relationship that is not in harmony with the principles of the gospel must be wrong.
On such issues as abortion, the Equal Rights Amendment, homosexuality, and pornography, current issues, sometimes categorized as women's issues, he has given direct counsel.
We believe that as an essential part of his plan of salvation, God has established an eternal standard that sexual relations should occur only between a man and a woman who are married.
Thus, the term alternative lifestyle is used to justify adultery and homosexuality.
Related to the story I gave at the beginning of my talk is the evidence of a clinical researcher who, after studying 850 individual cases, stated homosexuality would not occur where there is a normal, loving father and son relationship. Any of our people living in righteousness would normally avoid being involved in these problems.
I know another good man who was reared in a family without the blessings of the gospel. Through a series of unfortunate events in his early youth, he was introduced to homosexuality, and gradually he became a prisoner to this addictive behavior.
My response is that we love them as sons and daughters of God. They may have certain inclinations which are powerful and which may be difficult to control. Most people have inclinations of one kind or another at various times. If they do not act upon these inclinations, then they can go forward as do all other members of the church.
If children have a happy family experience, they will not want to be homosexuals, which I am sure is an acquired addiction, just as drugs, alcohol, and pornography are. The promoters of homosexuality say they were born that way, but I do not believe this is true.
Some suppose that they were preset and cannot overcome what they feel are inborn tendencies toward the impure and the unnatural. Not so. Why would our Heavenly Father do that to anyone?
Our policies are determined by the truths God has identified as unchangeable.
We see attempts at legalization of drugs, abortion, homosexuality, and other compromising, drifting philosophies.
Today, we are aware of great problems in our society. The most obvious are sexual promiscuity, homosexuality, drug abuse, alcoholism, vandalism, pornography, and violence.
Recently, I spoke with a Laurel from the United States. I quote from her email. This past year, some of my friends on Facebook began posting their position on marriage. Many favored same-sex marriage, and several LDS youth indicated they liked the postings. I made no comment. I decided to declare my belief in traditional marriage in a thoughtful way. With my profile picture, I added the caption, "I believe in marriage between a man and a woman." Almost instantly, I started receiving messages. "You are selfish. You are judgmental." One compared me to a slave owner.
He continued acting out his homosexual tendencies, assuming that such relationships would bring him happiness. But alas, with each passing year, his misery increased.
Nearly 50% of the workforce is now female.
Is those who represent the so-called alternate lifestyle. Birth control is rampant. Sterilization, vasectomies increase annually.
Some portray legislation of so-called same-sex marriage as a civil right. This is not a matter of civil rights. It is a matter of morality.
So-called same-gender marriage.
So-called gays and lesbians.
So what must we do? We must follow the living prophet, for herein is our only safety.
In this determination, we may be misunderstood, and we may incur accusations of bigotry, suffer discrimination, or have to withstand invasions of our free exercise of religion. If so, I think we should remember our first priority, to serve God. And like our pioneer predecessors, push our personal handcarts forward with the same fortitude they exhibited.
And I received this post from a great friend who is a strong member of the church. You need to catch up with the times. Things are changing, and so should you. I did not fight back, she said, but I did not take down my statement. She concludes, sometimes, as President Monson said, you have to stand alone. Hopefully, as youth, we will stand together in being true to God and to the teachings of his living prophets. End of quote. Of special concern to us should be those who struggle with same-sex attraction. It is a whirlwind of enormous velocity.
But we cannot stand idle if they indulge in immoral activity, if they try to uphold and defend and live in a so-called same-sex marriage situation. To permit such would be to make light of the very serious and sacred foundation of God-sanctioned marriage and its very purpose, the rearing of families.
When the Lord comes, if he finds nothing but birth control, abortion, sterilization, homosexuals, the earth is wasted.